We are in the Basilica of St. Rita in Cascia, who welcomes her mortal remains. Her holiness is a beacon of light and comfort for many even today, after 600 years, because she lived as a young woman, wife, mother, and widow in Roccaporina, as a layperson for 36 years, and as a cloistered nun in Cascia for 40 years. In these states of existence, Rita followed the humble Jesus on the path of love, thereby attaining the highest point of loving as he loved us, bearing a stigmata on her forehead for a duration of 15 years until her eventual passing. Margaret, her given name at baptism, but commonly referred to as Rita, was born in the year 1381 in Roccaporina to parents Antonio Lotti and Amata Ferri. Her parents played a crucial role as mediators, resolving conflicts that arose among families in the local vicinity. In this serene family atmosphere, she grew in the Christian faith. At 16, she married Paolo di Ferdinando Mancini, described by some sources as having a good but also resentful soul, involved in the controversial politics of the time between the Guelphs and Ghibellines. From their union, 2 children are born, possibly twins, Gian Giacomo and Paolo Maria. During this phase of her life, Rita adored her family with the benevolence of Christ, calmly anticipating for God's grace to touch her husband's heart, undoubtedly accompanying this anticipation with prayer and deliberate words. Time has proven her right, as Paolo has converted. Perhaps this was the reason why, after a few years, Paolo was killed. It is very likely. In this tragic event in Rita's life, the strength of her faith is evident. She forgives the murderer and also points to the crucifix as a model of forgiveness for her children. The kids, influenced by the surroundings and family, would retaliate for their father. Our saint prays to the Lord that they do not reach that point. They will not reach it because they will die very young from natural causes. A widow, childless, alone, her heart always turned to the Lord. She finds refuge and comfort in the most fervent prayer and with the utmost dedication towards the sick and the poor of her city. This is how her desire to consecrate herself to God in the Augustinian Monastery of St. Mary Magdalene was born. Initially, her request is denied because the violent death of her husband would have created tensions within the community, where a relative of the deceased resided. There is a chance that peace could be brought among families, and this was meant to be public. With her love for Jesus, she works to restore peace, even with the intercessions of St. John the Baptist, St. Augustine, and St. Nicholas, and succeeds. Thus the doors of the monastery open, and she will live as an Augustinian nun in prayer and penance for 40 years. From this time past, we only have a few episodes that were handed down by the nuns, which can help us understand the depth of her holiness and the strength of her intercession. The first episode is at the beginning of her entrance. The superior orders her to water a dry branch during the time of her novitiate. And in the end, that branch starts to live again. It's a vine. Obedience is the virtue that brings us closest to the mission of Jesus, who said, "My food is to do the will of the Father." Those who obey are humble, and humility is the foundation of charity. Saint Rita, listening to the preaching of Saint James of the Marches, a Franciscan, understood the love that the Lord has given us with his death on the cross, and in prayer asked Jesus to make her a participant in his passion. And he gives her a thorn from his crown that she will carry as a stigmata on her forehead for 15 years until her death. That she passed away on the night between May 21st and 22, 1447, according to some historians, or 1457, according to others, as written on the solemn casket where her body was placed. Another episode that has been passed down concerns the last period of her life, which was winter. Rita requested a rose and 2 figs from her garden in Rocca Porina from a visitor who actually discovered them in her garden. What did Rita intend to convey with that request? I like to think that she did not forget Paul and her children, but lived in the monastery with the desire to reunite with them in paradise. The message that the Lord delivers through the life of Saint Rita is this: remaining united with Him bears much fruit like the vine to life. That life's trials, even the most painful ones, when united with the passion of Christ, are a source of new life. That forgiveness is the pathway to peace of heart, and that only love always triumphs.